KRFC Fort Collins. Get ready for some live youth music. This is the Rhythms of Youth show.
We're here at KRFC 88.9 FM. I'm your host, Raffy, and right now I will be speaking with Vincent about the Youth Leadership Music Project. After speaking with Vincent, we will be hearing a recording of the Polaris Expeditionary Learning School and their Songwriting Intensive. They were filmed last week at Channel 10. All right, so Vincent, when did this project start?
Technically, this project is 3 weeks old right now. 3 out of 8 weeks.
Oh, okay. So, who all's a part of it? Like, I know that Savage Cabbage is a part of it.
We have about 15 total musicians. Aside from the trio Savage Cabbage, which is a rock band, there's another rock band called Blue Taboo with Jared Jansen and Will Brock, Julian Ferrara, and Kyle Petty. Savage Cabbage is Keaton Nelesny and Nathan Sonnenberg, along with Colin Orr. We also have Annalise Zering, who plays looping violin. We have the newly brought on, as of Friday night, a cappella trio with Rachel Morley, Kathyrn Walter, and Haley Patrick, known as Elevation. We have Yarrick McCarchuk. We have Shannon Fitzsimmons and Mary Sue Thompson. So there's a really... Everett Merritt is also part of the project. He hasn't had time to really work with us yet, but he is interested in the project. So we've got him on board too.
Wow, that's amazing. There's so many talented artists in that group that I can just, when I hear their names, I think of them. At the Bazaar, actually, one night I was co-hosting with Vincent, and I heard Blue Taboo and Savage Cabbage. And after hearing those two bands for the first time, I was like, wow, these guys are really amazing, because they played songs, and it just blew my mind. It was awesome. And Mary Sue Thompson especially, I love her. Okay, so where have some of the performances been?
Well, we have played in some pretty diverse places. We played at the Bazaar. We went down to an opening, actually. Will Brock's mom, Atia, opened up Cafe Olé, which is right across the street. They just had their grand opening, and they have a really nice back patio. And so we had some all performers out there on the deck. And we've played upstairs from the Bazaar at the Downtown Artery. They have a brand new deck, and Mary Sue and Shannon played there. When the project first started, Jared actually opened for a big fundraiser over at the Lincoln Center. So he played, I believe, in the Magnolia Room. He did a solo set for like 45 minutes, did a fantastic job. So we played in different places around town. We have the very last week of the project, we're going to be heading to Breckenridge, and we have a house that we can all gather in and stay there. And we have a gig lined up in Frisco at the Barclay Ballroom, pretty well-known venue out there. It holds 500 people, and we're hoping to get some gigs in Breckenridge that weekend as well. So yeah, we're kind of still finding places, but we're keeping it pretty diverse. Old Chicago's will be another place that we play each week. And I should add, starting this Wednesday with Annalise Zering, we have a half hour on KCSU. Eric Bell, great guy. He's a DJ over there. So from 5:15 to 5:45 each Wednesday evening on KCSU 90.5, one of the or more of the musicians from the Youth Leadership Music Project will be playing live music over there.
That's really cool. I like the fact that it kind of stays local almost, and then there's also Breckenridge, but I like the fact that you're not trying to go too big too fast or anything.
Yeah, I think that's true, Raffy. I think what was so thrilling is actually when this project was still in the fundraising part of it, we had a gig at the Mishawaka Amphitheater, which I coordinated the entire event, and that was so thrilling. And we still, when people mention that day up the canyon, it was just it was a big hug fest.
Yeah. So For me, when I think of like teenagers types of music, I think of rock or something like that. And actually, I've heard quite different, which really pleases me when people actually play, and I really like it. What types of like music do youth play here?
Well, I think that you bring up a really interesting aspect of the project because I'm all about diversity. I think that's what is most interesting. And so aside from the two rock bands who are pretty progressive, I mean, they're doing some pretty creative things as rock bands. We have Elevation, which is the a cappella trio, and they're doing some arrangements which are pretty complex and just really pretty phenomenal. People are pretty actually shocked when they hear them. And then, of course, Annalise Zering, who plays the looping electric violin, and she'll be on KCSU. She's only had this for like under 2 weeks, and she's already doing these pretty complex arrangements where she's building a song. She's playing the violin like a guitar. She's using it as a percussive instrument and really able to build these really layered, structured, incredibly beautiful songs with her electric violin. And the cool thing is, with Annalise, she's collaborating with Yarek Makarchuk, who plays mandolin, and they both sing wonderfully. She's going to be collaborating with the a cappella group. After they heard her sing and play violin, they want to do some songs with her. And I've been kind of looking for her too, for an a cappella group that she could work with, and it's a perfect fit. So the nice thing about the project is there are a lot of intercollaborations. Mary Sue's working with Yarek, Shannon's working with different people in the group as well. So the spirit of the project is to be collaborative, to be one, and to have your own identity, like the rock groups have their own identity. But, Keaton's is a very collaborative guy. He has Jared up on stage with him singing one of their songs, a Savage Cabbage song. So I'm really proud of everybody in the group. They're really mature, and they're really focused on the music, and there's really no drama going on, which is perfect.
Yeah, I really enjoy all the collaboration because even in the first few days I came here, I saw people that I later found out were from totally different bands, even different types of music altogether, and I thought it was really, really amazing. I've seen mostly teenagers in this program, and in fact, I think I'm one of the youngest people in this program. So what would the general age be for you that's in this program?
I think everybody in this program, with the exception of 3, are juniors in high school. Actually, Everett Merritt, I believe, is a senior. Yarek Makarchuk and Shannon Fitzsimmons, I believe, are sophomores, and everybody else are juniors. Everybody else is a junior. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, Raffy, because I've got them to work with for another year next year. It's because there's a good chance they would be going off to college somewhere. So I kind of like that aspect. That's not why I chose them, but it is kind of interesting that they'll be around for a little while.
Yeah, I really enjoy the fact that they're all, even though they're teenagers, they're nice to me as an 11-year-old, because some teenagers aren't really nice to me. They kind of call me a little kid, and that even happens in my middle school with 8th graders, so it's really, really nice. I've been wondering this for actually quite a while. What's next? Like, what benefits and gigs are you going to be doing?
We have something really exciting, which really fits the spirit, again, of the project, because we started the project wanting to build youth leaders through music who can help build community. Well, one of the best ways to build community is to provide music for those that really need it, the healing power of music, So we have, we're looking at certain things such as hospice and nursing homes and playing for those individuals during the holidays and stuff like that. We have a really exciting gig coming up on November 14th, which is a Thursday night at the Blind Pig, which is on East Linden Street. And Renee Shaw is a friend, and her husband, Robert Wilson, is in the Robert Wilson Blues Band. And they're really coordinating this event that's happening there as a fundraiser for Blue Star Connection. And Blue Star Connection's mission is to provide musical instruments for young kids who are cancer patients in hospitals. They give them instruments, and it's really profound, and they've seen some pretty remarkable things happen. And so this is a benefit show. So we have 2 20-minute slots as part of this event, which is going to have an incredible, like the supergroup of all time in Fort Collins called the Young Ancients, a very newly established band that has John Magny. And it's got another gentleman from the Three Twins whose name is escaping me right now, but it also has Kerry Moran. And Kerry Moran is like he's an incredible guy, and he's actually representing Colorado for the International Blues Competition, I believe is the name of that. So we're really thrilled. They're going to be there, and also Chaotic Serenity is going to play. So the Youth Leadership Music Project is going to be represented at this event. So we're really thrilled. We're going to have Shannon and Mary Sue will do a set, and then Annalise and the a cappella group will do an opening set.
That's really cool. You know, I enjoy doing benefits and stuff, even just emceeing them, but I think having performers go to hospitals for youth and elderly, anybody, I think that it really, when I first heard about it, it really made me feel good inside, because it made me feel like, wow, music really does have healing qualities. I know that I know that you were talking about some of the benefits that you were trying to plan, but do you have any other goals for this project?
Basically, we're hoping that the youth that come out of the other end of this project are going to be learning skills that are applicable to being a musician. We really want to treat them like they are professional musicians. Not that our goal is for them to be, household names or something like that. I mean, if they can sort of make a living supporting themselves through the arts, I don't think you can ask for anything greater than that, in my opinion. So we want them to be able to start mentoring other youth. That's a huge part of this, because they're becoming leaders. They're already leaders. I mean, when I picked all of them, I told them, we had a meeting Sunday, and I said I could not, there's no way that I could be any happier with the youth that we have in this project. I mean, I'm so proud of all of them. They're exceeding my expectations. So anything that I can do and Katie Clark is the assistant on this project, to teach them different skills, whether it's social media and how to best present yourself on social media, how to be connecting with people on social media, how do you act in between songs? What do you do if a string breaks, or how do you present yourself on stage? What are you wearing on stage? Are you dressed like everybody else? Are you setting yourself off just a little differently while still retaining your your sense of who you are and so forth? So there are a lot of different aspects of performing. You're working with a music coordinator. There's a lot of responsibility that goes into that, and they're really busy. I mean, they are full-time students, and then they have hours of homework. So it's pretty tight time-wise, and for them to be able to be a part of the project, it's really saying a lot for them.
I think that's really cool. Katie, she's always been really nice to me, and I like the fact that she's really a leader. You can just tell just by taking a glimpse at her. She's an amazing leader, and all of them are, and I think it's really cool. All right, that wraps it up with Vincent talking about the Youth Leadership Music Project. For more information, you can go on Facebook and type in Youth Leadership Music Project. Next, we're going to hear the recording of the Polaris Expeditionary Learning School and their Songwriting Intensive.
Hello, and welcome once again to the Poudre School District Channel 10 studios. This is Vincent Burkhart, your host for another edition of Radio Rhythms, made possible by the continued support of Bohemian Foundation as well as the Kayla Foundation. And this is a really unique, exciting show that we have today with some very special musical guests. And we're first going to start out the show by welcoming Lab Polaris Expeditionary Learning School teacher Matt Strand. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Vincent.
This is really a very unique week at Lab Polaris with the intensives that you're having out there.
It is. It's our first intensive week of the year. We have 3 intensives a year, and so this is a good way to, once we've got a foothold in our academics and our culture, to kind of dive deep in some enrichment activities with kids for the week and mix things up before we jump right back into the rigor and relationships.
And it's been really exciting for you, and I know that you did a similar thing last year with the songwriting intensives that we're having, and you've learned quite a bit as well as the students, I'm sure.
I have. It's first of all, it's really great to see what can be accomplished in a week. Students come in with all kinds of experience levels, and having the support of local musicians really connects them with the community. And so I feel very fortunate to work in an environment where we can kind of break down the boundaries of the regular school day and content areas and grade levels, and be people, and to connect students with professionals and help them learn what that's actually like and what it takes.
So 3 of the finest songwriters in Fort Collins, Kathyrn Mostow, Justin Roth, and Danielle Anderson, gave their time and worked with these students this week.
They did, and I just wanted to give a quick shout out to them because they have not only tremendous abilities as professional musicians, but in working with kids, and it was really remarkable to see. So I've been teaching for a long time, but I learned a lot about watching them with their support, with their challenging students, their encouragement, as well as their skill.
Because as you know, being a good musician does not necessarily correlate to working well with students, and it's a really special thing that they share.
Absolutely.
So we have 8 songs that we're going to be hearing on this edition of Radio Rhythms, and you had all the students aware that they were going to work together in different capacities and to work on the aspects of songwriting, and it must have been a very interesting process, kind of culling the ones that were really the most focused and were able to, all of them working hard, obviously, but it must have been a very interesting process for the students.
It has, this being my 3rd time facilitating a music intensive, the first day tends to be more playful and kind of getting comfortable and getting to know one another, since we are kind of a cross-grade experience. And day 2 is really about drafting, but by day 3, they're walking in the door with fairly refined songs and knowing that the pressure's on. And at that point, I kind of let go of structure because it's a gradual release of responsibility model, and it's on them, and they know that there's that they need to show what they've accomplished. So they spend a lot of time working fairly independently as ensembles or individually, and I've just been really impressed with their integrity, with their focus, their perseverance, and what I hope you'll see today, their craftsmanship.
Right, we're going to see some really nice solo work with Trip. You can introduce Trip for us here.
Yeah, this is Trip, and one thing that's really neat about intensives, I get to know new students, such as Trip, that I'm a middle school teacher, and so I haven't gotten to work with him before. So this has been a really great experience because now I'll see him in the hallways and he'll see me, and we have that connection. I get to work with former students of mine who are Polaris veterans, so that you'll see some of those students, my former middle school students that are now high school students and young adults that will be performing today. But it's also a neat connection to get to know my new students, my 7th grade students, because we're just, as I said, barely into the school year. And so I get to see that different side of them that I think then translates into the relationships that we have in the classroom.
And so welcome to the show, Trip.
Thank you.
It must be interesting being able to connect musically. I mean, that's a way that you can connect with others in a way that maybe you can't do in other capacities.
It definitely is interesting. I've never really worked on songs with other people before, and so it was an interesting experience, a lot of fun. You got to know people more deeply than I would have otherwise.
Mm-hmm. And talk a little bit about working with the 3 guest artists that came to Polaris this week.
Let's see. So Kathyrn was the first to come, and she is a very good guitarist, like very good. And she showed a lot of the students all sorts of things and helped them improve throughout the week. I didn't work with her much personally, but I'm sure she was a very big help. And then Justin came. He was the one I worked with mostly. His style is a little bit more similar to the way I like to play my guitar, the adding melodies into the chord progressions. And so he helped me he helped me a lot in figuring out stuff like that, how to fill out the melodies and how to add in different stuff with my guitar playing.
So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Sorry, and then there's Danielle at the Sandwich, who is a very fun person to be around. She went in with a folk song, and then someone dared her to freestyle rap, and right in the middle of her song, she did so.
I can see Danielle getting into that. Yeah, she's very spontaneous. That's really good. So your song that you're performing today, how did that kind of become cohesive for you through working with Justin?
I had the basic idea of the song down, but it was definitely interesting how much more I could do with it when Justin showed me. And yeah, I've never done refining over a set period of time, so that was really cool. It's usually if I write a song, it takes however long I feel like writing it in. So yeah.
Nice. Well, we're really looking forward. Now, we'll have you introduce the song, and we're going to hear this song that you composed this week at the Songwriting Intensive at Polaris Expeditionary Learning School.
All right. So the song is called Jungle. It's definitely an interesting thing. The first idea was I was going to write a song kind of about the area around here, but it kind of progressed into an abstract description of a jungle and how things work there, I guess. I don't know. It can probably have different meanings for different people. I mean, I've never thought about it as being, I mean, it could be deeply moving to some people. It could be kind of crappy or kind of bad for some people.
Right, and songs being open to individual interpretation.
Mm-hmm.
So we're here on Radio Rhythms, and we're going to hear this song right now.
Watch me run through the forest. The sun comes up, but the light is green. The tops of the trees are burnt to a crisp. That is where the innocent sin. Watch me wade through stagnant water. Endless, the dead things inside make it green. The eyeless fish wander around without purpose into a cave where they don't need to see. Watch me sit on the ground. Eyeless fish come around. I grow arms and legs without a sound. And the way that they speak make me feel so proud. Waste away, 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 waste away
cast away.
We are continuing with the wonderful songwriting music here with the students from La Polaris Expeditionary Learning School. And Matt, we have another artist in the studio here with us.
We do. We have Jackson Smith, former student of mine, who is now in 9th grade. And he's performing an original composition on his ukulele.
That's wonderful, Jackson. Kind of tell us a little bit what you got out of this past week here with the guest artists and so forth.
Well, a lot of them have been helpful, especially Justin Roth and Danielle Anderson. Justin's playing style is really good, and that's kind of what I use here in this song I'm about to play.
Now, did Justin bring any ukulele, or was that primarily
No, that
Danielle?
was guitar, but still, the way he played it was, pretty cool.
That's interesting. So there's a way to kind of transpose what he was doing on guitar with the ukulele.
Yeah, it's not that hard. So.
Okay. Well, any other comments about this week you wanted to tell us?
I'd like to talk about the song a little bit. The song was not really written about anything, but it can be like, you can have opinions about it. Like it could be about breakup or, something like that.
Great. And the name of the song we'll be hearing?
This is called Plastic Blue. Miss you, hate you, need you, forget you. Miss you, hate you, need you, forget you. Plastic blue, think of you. Cherry red, life and death, down in hell, I wish you well. Plastic blue, see you soon. Mistakes were made like lemonade. I apologized, I died inside. Mistakes were made like lemonade. I died inside. I'm a plastic blue. Think of you. Cherry red. Life and death. And in hell, I wish you well. Plastic blue. See you soon. I can't think, but I can sing. I only know that I need you so. I can't think, but I can sing. I only know that I need you so. Plastic blue, think of you. Cherry red, life and death. Down in hell, I wish you well. Plastic blue, see you soon. Plastic blue, plastic blue, plastic blue, plastic blue. Miss you, hate you, need you, forget you.
This is really a fantastic time, very unique show that we have in the Channel 10 studios, and we are now going to introduce two very well-established and respected songwriters in Fort Collins, Kathyrn and Danielle Anderson. Hello, you two.
Hello. Hi, Vincent.
It's really great to have you both with us, and what an incredible experience these youth are having this week out at Lab Polaris. So, Kathyrn, we'll start with you and kind of tell us how you got, who you are, and how you kind of got involved with working with these kids.
So, I'm a singer-songwriter based in Fort Collins, and actually, a neighbor is a teacher at Polaris, and she knew I was a singer-songwriter. And it was probably about 3 years ago that she asked if I could help with a songwriting intensive. And I mean, it was back when Polaris wasn't even at their current school, so it may have been even 4 years ago. And I helped out a little bit at that point, but it was in 2012 that I felt like I really had time. I had the availability to kind of really be with the intensive from the first day through to the performance. And that was the year where Danielle came and Justin Roth came, and we had the Honey Getters, we had Mosey West, we had Shell, all his guest artists, people, all local artists who came and worked with the kids. And it's so fun for us. So I hope the kids listening realize that we do this because we really love working with your talent and your ideas. It's really exciting for us.
Right, Danielle, welcome to the studio here. Nice to have you here.
What up, V? My name is...
We've got to know each other a little bit through the radio station.
Yeah. It's good to see you, old friend.
Dennis Bigelow, of course.
Yes, everybody knows Dennis. I am Danielle Ate the Sandwich. I play in a group called Danielle Ate the Sandwich with Dennis. He's my bass player, and I'm the primary songwriter and boss and control freak of the group. And I got involved a couple years ago with Polaris doing a songwriting intensive a couple years ago, and was asked back this time, and I jumped at the chance to work with the kids. And this week was good for me. I came in on Wednesday, so a lot of the hard work had been done on Monday and Tuesday. So I jumped in at a time when a lot of the songs had been written and they were working on perfecting them. And we also talked a lot about performance. I personally think songwriting and performance are two completely different things. So these kids have had a ton of stuff to take in and learn and try to master in just a week's time. I'm not writing songs in a week, guys. I'm not writing songs that are good enough to play in a week's time. So these kids are really showing us who's boss. And for me as a writer, it's really cool to work with younger artists and see talent in them and see kind of a voice emerging from them. It also makes me think about my own process of writing, and talking about what I do is always hard for me, and I bumble and fumble a lot, but it's like really powerful to relate to a young artist like Talia and say, this is what I do. You could try it. And maybe, your song is great. And so it's fun altogether. Positivity, friendship, and memories. That's my experience in a nutshell. Yeah,
and memories they're really going to be taking this week and really remembering this for quite some time, forever, really, the time that they've had with the two of you, plus with Justin Roth this week at Lab Polaris. And we'll be speaking more with the two of you as the show goes on. And you mentioned Talia. Hello, Talia.
Hello.
Tell us kind of how it's been for you this week.
It's pretty inspiring. I mean, I chose the intensive so I could write songs. Because before this intensive, I wasn't necessarily the best at writing. So it was really inspiring.
What kind of things have you learned about the songwriting process this week?
Well, one of the things I really learned was that you can turn any poem that you write basically into a song, even if it means changing the words to the poem a little bit. It kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but...
Sure. So the song that you wrote, tell us a little bit about that.
It's called Fly High Like an Eagle, and it's about my cousins, 7- and 8-year-old, and there's an older one, but he's handling it well. They had a really hard life. I just wanted to dedicate a song to them.
That's really nice. Well, we're going to hear that now on Radio Rhythms. This is Talia.
Little one, don't you cry. I'm right here with you in the middle of the night. You've had some rough times. There's nothing I can take this away. But if you're right here with me, this will change. So fly high like an eagle into the sky. Just you and I dancing through the night. Gazing at the stars, we'll be alright. this right. Little one, let's just run. Sprint down the road in the burning hot sun. Let's have some fun times so we can erase our minds away. 'Cause if you're right here with me, this will change. So fly high like an eagle into the sky. Yeah, come on, fly high like an eagle into the sky. Just you and I dancing through the night, gazing at the stars. We'll be alright, we'll make this right. Fly so high into the sky. So fly into the sky. Soar like an eagle far away. Come and meet me today. 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 Fly high like an eagle into the sky. Yeah, come on, fly high like an eagle into the sky. Just you and I dancing through the night, gazing at the stars. It will be alright, we'll make this right. Little one, you're doing great. You just spread your wings and glide away.
This is such a great show here in the Channel 10 studio, and we're going to now talk to Elizabeth and Iris over at the Lab Polaris School. Welcome, you two.
Hi. Yeah. Hi.
It's really been a great week for both of you, and we wanted to kind of have you two talk a little bit about your experiences.
Okay. Yeah. So I think that me and Elizabeth had a really cool experience this week. We wrote a song, and it was kind of difficult, but really interesting and awesome at the same time.
We did a lot of arguing.
Yeah, we did.
A lot of
but
arguing.
see, this is a beautiful thing at the same time, because persevering and being able to overcome this is a giant part of what we have done this week. And
using the growth mindset too, because I remember sitting outside and like I was so mad at you, and I was like, well, maybe I shouldn't insult her and tell her what's wrong, what she's doing wrong. I should help her and pull her to do something and just like keep working on it. And so we use the growth mindset in that way, not just for like myself, but for Iris.
yeah.
And yeah.
Touch base on what that growth mindset is you're referring to, Elizabeth.
Matt introduced the middle schoolers to it earlier, but then when the intensive started, I'm in high school, so I came in and he told us about it, and it's basically like just a change of mind. Instead of telling yourself, oh, this is bad, I'm bad at singing, I can't do this, you're complimenting yourself, but in a way that you're leading yourself to do something better and saying, I'm good, but I'm not there yet, and put that yet in there instead of saying, I could never do this or something like that.
Yeah. So kind of perseverance and overcoming and using your disadvantages or your current situation to push yourself, and using critique and experiences just to really better yourself.
I like that mindset because it's not a black and white thing, and you're also not telling yourself, oh, I'm so good at this, because if you get the thought that you're so good at something, you may not strive as much, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So students that are told, oh, you're excellent at this one problem, you're so good, then they're going to try to do problems just as easy, or they're not going to keep working harder because they know that they're already good, so they feel accomplished and they don't need to keep working.
Yeah, it's like a big thing with comfort zone, because kids or even adults in fixed mindset, which is like opposite of growth mindset, they will not push themselves. They will stay comfortable and they won't challenge themselves, and it's not a good place to be. Well,
So I give you a lot of credit, because when you're working that mindset, but you're also working as a team, plus you're tapping into your own creativity, there's a lot of room for not wanting to maybe step on somebody's creativity. Would you find that was part of the challenge working together?
Yeah, it was pretty challenging because we did disagree on a couple of things. She had ideas and I had ideas, and then we just we tried to mesh them together. And I remember being so mad at her, and then I went back in the room and I sang the song by myself, and then I showed it to her, and it just kind of clicked with us. And we had that moment where we like smiled and laughed and like high-fived, and we're like, we can do this. And then we sang it, and it was amazing, and it was an amazing moment just like then. Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah.
I remember at the beginning, I wrote the chorus, which was kind of like the beginning of the song, and there were so many changes being made to it. I was kind of like sad and angry at the same time, because it's like, my baby's leaving me. Like, I worked so hard on it.
I felt the same way. I was like, the songs changed so much, because we started with 9 and 10, which were one of the main words, or two of the main words, and then we changed it to 4 and 5, and we just started changing the song all over.
Yeah.
But yeah, Polaris is a really good example of the growth mindset, because kids are constantly working harder, and it's just a different kind of learning, and I really love Polaris. It's amazing. Yeah.
That's really great. And you gave a wonderful example of working together and how you use that mindset in the creation of your song. Yeah. So that was really well explained. We really appreciate the both of you talking about that. And we're going to continue now with some more music here on Radio Rhythms. We are continuing with these extremely talented youth who are getting this wonderful songwriting training from Danielle Anderson, Kathyrn Mostow, as well as Justin Roth in the classroom this week. And we really are thrilled to have them here. And we are now with Madison and Olivia. Hello, you two.
Hello.
Hi.
Kind of tell us about your week and this song that we're going to hear today.
Okay, well, our song is called Quiet Feathers Make for Quiet Wings, and I would say it's more about the feeling that somebody could feel and how to relate it to something else. And it's really a big patchwork of Olivia's poems from her book. So.
Yeah, a bunch of people could relate to different verses.
Oh, good. So that must be interesting now with you writing the lyrics, Olivia, and having your friend Madison sing that. That's pretty interesting dynamic there.
Mm-hmm. She offered to sing the lyrics for me because I want to show my song, but I'm not comfortable singing. I mostly play guitar. And she offered to sing it for me, and it sort of just went on from there.
Yeah, a big friendship grew over this week, and you could feel it. She's gone over to my house before, and we've practiced, and yeah.
Really nice. And we're going to hear that song right now.
Live for
to fly and catch you in your sleep.
And we're moving into slightly larger collaborations here on Radio Rhythms. What a great show we're having here in the studio today. And welcome all four of you. Eric, we're going to speak to you a little bit about this song. Tell us what we're going to hear, Eric. And tell us your fellow musicians here.
This is Cassidy, Piper, and Sam, and our song is called Even Rivers. Once again, I'm heading down a dead-end road. I'm hoping that you'll teach me and set me free. I don't want to be alone, but for now you better just let me be. Even rivers meet the oceans. Even mountains touch the ground. I'm not fond of my emotions, but they're not far from being found. I don't have what it takes, so you're gonna need to come to me. I'll make you smile when you're feeling blue. I think that you'll soon agree. Even rivers meet the oceans. Even mountains touch the ground. I'm not fond of my emotions, but they're not far from being found. Oceans, even mountains touch the ground. I'm not fond of my emotions, but they're not far from being found.
And we're going to keep the music going here in the Channel 10 studio, and we're going to welcome Trip back. Welcome back to... We're going to have you tell us who you have here with you.
This is Bram, and it's actually his song. I'm just doing the bass part. Then we have Skylar and Devin as well.
Great. So, Bram, we'll have you introduce the song for us here.
Okay, so this is my song. It's called The Island. It's about an escape I think I'd like to have. The ocean sways like a big hayfield, and my worries are left forgotten sealed. I can run and fly away to a place that's not quite so gray. Once you jump, you can fly. Pigs will join you if you try. Dogfish soar, seagulls cry. Did I mention I like pie? If you join me, we can soar high above and avoid the wars. Past the clouds and into space, everything will find its ways. Through the stars and past the moons to an island in the shade. We will sit with our friends, drinking homemade lemonade. I'll play with the whales and I'll surf with the dolphins. My coconut bra and multicolored moccasins. The ocean floor holds many of my friends, even Joe, the sea hen.
If you join me, you can fly high above, avoid the wars, past the clouds and into space. Everything will find its place. Through the stars and past the moons, fly with the shade. We will sit with our friends, drinking homemade lemonade.
Near the we will sit, cook marshmallows upon a spit. We will laugh and play all day, all to the sound of a ukulele. I'm not alone, there's more of us. Just give me a little more of your trust. Dream with me and you will see. Life is much like a tree. Roots are earth and we are leaves. Dreams are like apple peas. Your seed is grown, you'll flower soon in the light of the harvest moon.
If you join me, we can soar high above the boards, past the clouds and into space, and everything will find its place through the stars and past the moons to an island in the shade. We will sit with our friends, drinking homemade lemonade.
We are continuing with this wonderful music, and Talia, welcome back to the studio here. Tell us who we have here.
I'm Talia, like you said. This is Jenna, and this is Ella.
Hi.
And Ella, you wrote this song primarily.
Yeah.
Tell us about this song.
So I kind of wrote it about being in middle school, because at the beginning of the year, I was kind of in this group that, everyone was very similar to each other and very, I felt like I was kind of being pressured to be the same as everyone else, and that's just not who I am. So it's kind of about being a person, being kind of squished into a mold that's not who you are.
Right.
Kind of like
And what is the name of the song?
Cookie Cutter.
Very cool. Here we go.
Never knowing where you're going, if only your crust is showing. Twisted faces force a shape and mold unknown to you. Do it up, put in your place. You're shielding from tomorrow's pain. Become a favorite and get asked to all those parties far away. I never wanted to be factory made, playing the game of love. I thought that you'd like the new beauty queen, but I'll never be enough, 'cause I'm a cookie cutter now, in this cookie cutter crowd. Bite is taken, you are shaken, crack your corners, but you're not breaking. You're no longer worth the weight, your life unpurposeful, now seem deranged, and know your form begins to change. You're the only one who sees the tool that's cutting you. I never wanted to be factory made, playing the game of love. I thought that you'd like the new beauty queen, but I'll never be enough, 'cause I'm a cookie cutter now, in a cookie cutter crowd. You crumble, push away the rubble. They cause you so much trouble, but you're still afraid of being caught out. Since you've been punched out, it doesn't really matter now. I never wanted to be factory made, playing the game of love. I thought that you'd like the new beauty queen, but I'll never be enough, 'cause I'm a cookie cutter now, in this cookie cutter crowd. Never knowing where you're going, don't care if your crust is showing.
And we have just had a fantastic time here in the Channel 10 studio today. Ella and Jenna will be leading us out with a final song, and nothing like a little humor in a song to really add a great element to it. So, wonderful pick. Tell us the name of the song, please.
My Sister.
My Sister. Here we are, Ella and Jenna.
I'm a sort of messed up person, but I'll make it to the other side. I won't become a psychopath or the overenthusiastic guy at the drive-thru. My sister should be in college, but she tours with some hipster band, taking photos and making them look cool or ironic, sisters do. I won't get tattoos or piercings, and I won't date someone who will steal my money. I won't have a crazy roommate who feeds my rats snakes and steals my money like my sister. We're a kind of messed up family. I think we should consider therapy. We all lack a little sanity, but I won't let that get the best of me. I won't wear tattoos or piercings, and I won't date someone who will steal my money. I won't have a crazy roommate who feeds my rusty snakes and steals my money like my sister. My sister's not a great role model. All of us have our problems, but she has more. She may be cray-cray and low on money, but that's okay. I love her anyway. I won't get tattoos or piercings, and I won't date someone who will steal my money. I won't have a crazy roommate who feeds my rusty snakes and steals my money like my sister. Like my sister.
We have heard just some tremendous music, and what an experience this week, Danielle, Kathyrn, and Matt, that these students have had this week. Thought we could comment on that. Start with you, Matt.
Well, I'm exceedingly proud of all of them. Our performers, who did a great job, and thank you, Vincent, for hosting, and thank you to the Channel 10 folks for helping us out today. There's been a tremendous amount of progress, not only in students' songwriting ability, but the risks that they've taken this week, and the community that's been built in the classroom, the critiquing, the feedback, the helping each other out, students who got to perform, and the students who also came today to encourage and be a part of our community today deserve some serious props for that. And it's just a great way to end this experience. I'm already looking forward to the next intensive, and I also just want to say how grateful I am to Danielle and to Kathyrn and to Justin for helping us out. It really would have not been the same without their support, and I'm very grateful, so thank you.
Absolutely, and thank you, Matt. And how profound that at this young age, Kathyrn and Danielle, both of you, and along with Justin, being wonderful songwriters, to have this early experience.
Oh yeah, I mean, I actually didn't start writing songs until I was way out of my teen years. But I wonder if I had had something like this offered at my high school, because I was a singer and everyone knew I sang, and but it was just something that wasn't even on my radar or anyone else's radar. So I think part of it is just Polaris. Polaris as a school is experientially based, and I feel like they do bring people in from the community. They use people like us as resources. I mean, not just singers, scientists, and climbers, and all sorts of amazing things. I wish every school had this opportunity, frankly, and I'm glad Polaris has it, and I'm glad they ask us to be a part of it.
Danielle?
I also agree that it's a great opportunity for the kids who are interested in music and songwriting to finally get the chance and to get the feedback and to get a real-world experience. This is big time. Like, I haven't even done something like this very often, and I've been a professional musician for 4 years. So to give them an opportunity to be creative in a way that's not just music class or a band class, that's really taking it on as an individual to kind of give your perspective and be creative in a way that's all your own. I think that's a great opportunity that I definitely wish, like Kathyrn, I wish I would have had that from a younger age, because who knows where I would have ended up, or how further along my skill would have been developed. And I think it's been great to work with the kids at Polaris. They all worked so hard, and seeing them make progress. I'm not a teacher, and I was only with them 3 days this week, but I feel a little mama bear proud and a little weepy when they've learned things and they are working together. And it's just cool to be around young kids. Obviously, kids are way better than adults because they're full of life and they don't have regrets or any concept of the real world yet. But it's just really inspiring to be around them and to see them working together, and they're kids of all different ages, and they've all got different things going on. So just as a human being, let alone a songwriter, it's cool to experience Matt and his class and the Songwriting Intensive at Polaris.
Very nice. And again, kudos to Justin Roth as well, who couldn't be here with us today, but was very influential.
Very involved. Yeah, he was. He actually is recording today, which is why I can't be here. So
Yes.
I just want to tag along to something you said, because this group of kids, they've really, and I think this is too, I'm sort of promoting Polaris. I think it's a pretty cool school. We're like multi-age. Like we're talking, we had kids in 7th grade and kids that are seniors, and they were performing songs for critique, like sitting in front of a group of other students. Very vulnerable thing. It's hard. I don't like critique circles sometimes. And getting feedback and saying how hot they wanted their feedback. Matt had a cool thing for that.
The jalapeno was one level.
Habanero was the hottest, and
That was
some
the
of the
hottest.
kids actually chose habanero, which was pretty amazing. They just worked really well as a group. I feel like there weren't cliques. There weren't like the cool kids and the not cool kids, which high school can be that. It was for me. Not to say anything personal or anything.
Get into it, Kathyrn.
It's great. It was a great experience. High school rocked for me. So I just thought that they were so receptive to each other and so supportive of each other. And so it makes it easy for us to step in and, share what we know. There's also just so much talent in this group, and I feel like there's just talent in young people, and it's just not given this opportunity enough.
Absolutely.
It's an honor, man.
Well, Matt,
Thank you.
Kathyrn, and Danielle, and along with Justin, you really set a good example of how we can build community through music this week. So really want to hats off to all of you for spending the time and giving this well-deserved attention to these kids this week. It's just been it's been a fantastic show. The music is it's kind of mind-boggling how quickly they've come together as a unit. So I want to thank all of you very much for being a part of the kids' lives this week. And I want to thank all of you for watching this edition of Radio Rhythms, made possible, as always, by Bohemian Foundation and the Kalo Foundation. Thank you so much.